What up? WINBUSH here, and today I'm excited to show you guys how to add blemishes to your objects using Unreal Engine. Now for this particular tutorial, I'll be using the Blemish Pro pack from Pixel Labs, so if you do want to follow along, make sure you look at the description down below. I'll leave a link to my affiliate link where you can purchase it at, or you can use your own textures. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So as you can see, I already have Unreal open. I have my character in here. I have some stuff going on, like in the upper left hand corner. You can see it says lighting needs to be rebuilt. So I'm going to come over here to my right where it says light source. I'm going to make this movable so everything's dynamic, so we don't have to build our lighting or anything. And if you're new to Unreal and you don't really understand what that means, make sure you go to my YouTube channel, look for a whole listing of different Unreal tutorials I have there. I have stuff from beginners, intermediate, advanced, a whole plethora of different tutorials there. And for this one, I wanted to show how we can use Blemish Pro inside of Unreal Engine. If I go to the Pixel Labs website here, you can see this is the new item they have. It's called Blemish Pro. And if I scroll down, you can see different uses in it for Cinema 4D using Octane, Physical Render, V-Ray, Corona. And if you look down here, these are all the different render engines that I could use. But I was telling Jordan, why don't you let me do an Unreal tutorial, because this could also benefit Unreal users. And so he gave me the go ahead to do it. And so I'm going to show you guys how to use it on this character here. I don't remember where exactly I got him. I think I got him from maybe Substance Painter. But I mean, it's a good character to do, you know, different texture and techniques and everything on. So I'm going to use this here. And if I look down here inside my content browser, I already have an HDR in here. And so I'm going to start by deleting some stuff in here. I'm going to delete my atmospheric fog, the player start, the sky sphere. I'm going to leave reflection and skylight in here. Now the reason I mentioned my HDR before is because if I come down here where it says light and under source type, I'm going to make it a specified cube map and click on this. And now I can use my HDR in here to light my scene. So if I bring that in there, and then for my cube map resolution, I'm going to bring this up ×4, just raise it up a little bit there. And my light source, I could probably zero it out on the X. Let's see if I start moving this around. I want to get just a little bit of shadow in here. There we go, something like that. So I think that lighting's looking pretty good there. Looks pretty dynamic. So my next step is I want to make a material. So I'm going to come down here in my content browser, right click, make a material. And I'm going to just name this main_material. Nothing too fancy. Then if I double click on that, it brings up my node editor here. Let me bring this out a little bit so we can see. Let me make it full screen. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the 4 key on my keyboard. I'm going to left click, and that's going to bring up my RGB and alpha. So if I double click in here, I have a color picker wheel in here, and I'm just going to bring it up just a little bit. Just going to make it a little bit gray. Click OK. Then I'm going to attach this node to my main material node here. So now we have gray here. Now if I go to my keyboard again, hold down the 1 key and left click, that's going to bring up my scalar parameter. So I could come and click on, let's do specular. And if I look over here to my left, I can scroll this up a little bit. Give me a little bit more specular in here. But to really make it pop here, I'm going to have to hold down 1 key again, left click. And I'm going to bring this into my roughness. So now we're starting to get a little bit of the shininess that I want. Maybe let's bring this up to 0.1. Just a little bit of roughness in there. So I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. Let me click apply. Then I'm going to make this window small again. I'm going to start adding this material to my character. So I can actually just click and drag it onto my character here. And now we can start seeing our HDR and our lighting really starting to shine through on our character here. And so the whole reason for this tutorial is I want to show how we could use the different items inside the Blemish Pro pack to kind of just dirty this up and add, you know, that little bit of detail to it. So if I come down to my bridge here, and all these images here are what come inside the pack. So we have fingerprints, we have footprints, we have a bunch of damage here. There's a whole plethora of different things in here, and it's all 8K. So that means you can zoom in really close to your object and really see that really fine detail in there. So let me find a good one to start off with. Maybe something like, I thought I saw, let me see. Let me do handprint. So I'm gonna drag in handprint. And now there's a couple of ways that we could actually use these different images inside of Unreal to be able to add damage to our character. So the first way, I'm going to use my material that I already have here, which I have my window open. So let's start with the handprint one. I'm going to click and drag this in here. And let me move this over a little bit so we can see better everything that's going on in here. And if I click the home button, that brings a center screen with our main node. Okay, like so. So what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to left click on my Alt on my keyboard, and I'm going to disconnect the roughness here because I want to use this in my roughness node, but I want to have control over it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this in here so that I can use this to control the amount of roughness that I have on my material. So if I hold down the M key on my keyboard, left click, that brings up my multiply. And this will allow me to bring in both of these nodes into my main node here. So all I have to do is take this, connect it to my A, take my texture that I got from Pixel Labs, connect this into my B, and then I'm going to connect this over to my roughness. Let me click apply. And then also over here, let me make this into a cube. Might be able to see it better. But if I come and turn this right here, turn it up, we should start seeing some roughness in there. Yeah, so if I zoom in here, make this a little bit larger so we can see it better. You can see that we're getting like a bunch of those handprints on our material here. So let me click apply. And then I could just zoom into my character, and I'm really starting to see all the grunge and everything on my character there. And like I said before, you can zoom in pretty close. Oops, don't want to go too close, but yeah, there we go. If I pull in that close, and it looks like the UVs might be a little bit jacked on this, but you get the picture. We got some good detail in there. So that's one way that we can actually add these blemishes onto our materials, but there's also another way called Decal Actor, which is the method that I prefer. Think of it as if like you're walking around and you're actually putting stickers up on a wall or a poster. This acts exactly like that. So let me show you how to do that now. So if I come over here in my place actors and I type in Decal, and I'm just going to click and drag this into my scene. You can see that we have like a really stretched material in here. It kind of looks like the House of the Dead Swamp Monster right now, if you're familiar with that game at all. But if you look at this arrow here, it's pointing down. And so where the arrow is pointing, that's the direction that these decals are going to project on. So think of it as almost like a projection map. So I'm going to center out my decal actor here in my location. Just make everything 0. And then for my rotation, I'm going to 0 everything out too. And then we're going to fix this so everything's not stretched. So I'm just going to pull this back a little bit, and then I can see my arrow. I'm just going to pull this up like so. And then I'm going to make sure my purple arrow is pointing towards my character, which if I go to rotation, I believe if I do 270, yep, there we go. So now he should be pointing directly at my character. And as you can see, as I'm pulling back, there's a green box that's encompassing our decal here. So the more I push in, the more it's going to engulf our character, and the more I pull back, the less it's going to project onto it. And I can also scale this as well. So if I come over to my scale, let's say maybe 0.2, make it a little bit smaller. And that way I could kind of pick in the area that I just want to project on. So maybe say we just want to do the face like that. And so that's looking pretty good there. And right now we just have the default texture in there. We can add one of our own blemishes in here, which will actually have the alpha channel as well. So if you wanted to put this up on like a brick wall or some type of like shiny surface, this is a perfect way to do that. So let's make a decal with this one again. I know we brought in scratches, but I feel like this one's going to show up a lot better for this example. So if I right click, make another material, and I'm just going to name this decal underscore material. Then I'm going to double click on this. And I'm going to have to get my master node all set up and let it know that this is a decal that we want to create. But before we do that, I'm just going to click and drag my handprint in here again. And I'm not going to connect it yet. Like I said, I have to make sure that this knows that we want to make it into a decal. So in order to do that, under material domain, I'm going to click on surface, come down to deferred decal. And then you can see right here under stats is giving us an error, and that's because we have to make our blend mode translucent. So if you want to do that, actually you have to do that. You have to come over to blend mode under opaque here, click on translucent, and now you see that the error goes away. So the next step is I have my Blemish Pro set here, my texture here. I'm just going to click on the RGB, connect it to the base color. Then I'm going to connect it to opacity. And if you look inside the preview window, it's looking really opaque. It's not really going to look right whenever we bring it in. So to fix this, we want to come back, click on our main node here, and I'm going to pull this down a little bit. Right here where it says Decal Blend Mode, I want to click on Translucent. And what I'm looking for is the debuffer that says Translucent Color, Normal, and Roughness, which is this one right here. So if I left click on this, now click Apply. So it's because of it's so translucent here, but it's actually going to look a lot better in there than when we had it before and it was really opaque. So let me click on this one. We might see it better. Yeah, so now we can see that we have our handprints in here. So if I exit this out, then make sure I have my decal actor selected. I'm going to come down to my material that I just created, the decal material. Click and drag that into this green box here. This is decal material. And boom, now you can see we actually have handprints on our character, and the more I push in, the more it projects it onto our character's face here. Almost looks like the wall in the Blair Witch when they're in the basement. We have all those handprints, which is actually could be a cool idea if you're building some type of like warehouse out and you want to make it look creepy. Put these type of blemishes on there and you're good to go. If you push in, you can really see the detail. You can almost see like the fingerprint grooves and everything in there. So I want to thank the guys over at Pixel Labs for allowing me to show you guys how we could use this in Unreal Engine as well. I know it was built with Cinema 4D artists in mind, but a lot of us C4D artists are also working in Unreal for real-time rendering. So I'm hoping these little techniques that I'm showing you are really showing you the possibilities of how we could use these type of items inside of Unreal. So hopefully this helped you guys out. If it did, make sure you leave me a comment down below. As always, give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until next time, stay fresh, keep creating, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.